Hello, today we're going to do something slightly different in our Pilates session. I'm very aware that I have got some people who are doing Pilates that have never done Pilates before. Some bar students, some Zumba students having a go at Pilates and they've never done it before. I'm also aware that I'm not there to correct you. So it's very easy to do Pilates and to get into some bad habits. So what I'm going to do is to take a couple of sessions, and it will probably be more than one tape because we can only do limited time. And we're going to go through the fundamentals of Pilates. So it'll be a great refresher for those of you that have been working with me for some time. And it will be new knowledge for those of you that have jumped in, had a go at Pilates, but maybe aren't quite getting it. And it's really important because actually if you get the principles right, then your workout will be much more effective. And there are six Pilates principles that we really work with. Now, one of them is about the breathing. Really important that you get the breathing right, because if you're breathing into your belly, you're not going to hold your core. So the first one is breathing. Second one is centering, and this is all about working those deep stabilizing muscles. So we don't just want to work your six pack or your obliques. We want to work those deep core muscles like your multifidus. So actually, if you're breathing into your belly, you can't do that. So breathing is really important. So we've got breathing, we've got centering, we've got control. So we're actually controlling the movements. So whatever you're doing, whether it's lifting an arm or lifting a leg, you're doing it with control, not just chucking things all over the place. So control is really important. We also want precision. So when you know where your movement is going, so actually if you're lifting your leg up and down, you know exactly where that leg is going. It's precision, it's controlled. We also need to concentrate. And that's really difficult because your mind tends to be somewhere else, thinking about all the things you've got to do later, or the things you'd like to be doing, all the other things that your mind concentrates on. And we really want to concentrate on what we're doing here and now. And then the last one, which is probably my favourite, is flowing. So it's making sure that your movements, actually it's a smooth, continuous flow. And you don't have to try and think about those all of the time, but it's really important to know them and to be aware of them as we go through our movements. So we're going to start now with the setup, and we're going to start with the feet. So we need to start with the bottom. I want you to think about your feet being underneath your hips. So there's a line that goes through from your hip bones down through to your feet. And we want to keep that nice alignment there. Now I want to think about the weight. So just gently come forwards and back. And we want the weight distributed between your big toe, your little toe and your heel. So you're in the middle of your feet. And then I want you to activate your feet. So think about the arch of your foot. So this piece here, the arch of your foot, I want you to think about lifting it up. So you're lifting it up and activating through the feet. Now the knees you want slightly off lock. So we're not bent here, but just slightly off lock. Don't make them too tight. Then we come up to the pelvis. And we need to find our neutral spine. So let me come sideways so you can see better and pull my jumper in a bit. So what we need to think about here is finding neutral. Now a lot of us have arched backs and the bottom goes out. We might have a flat back. What we want to think about is with this spine is trying to tuck the tailbone forwards and back and find that position in the middle. So find the position in the middle, and you should feel like your sacrum, so your tailbone is pointing down towards the floor and you've just got that soft curve. Now that's the safest place for your back to be when we're doing our exercises. So the position in the middle, and that's the safest place for your back to be when we do most of the exercises. And I'll tell you opportunities where you might want a flat back or that neutral spine. And then we need to work the core muscles. Now we can't actually engage the multifidus ourselves consciously. They're just too deep. You can't do that. But we've got two ways of actually activating the core. And you actually don't have to do both. You can do either and it will have the same effect. So let's start with the transverse abdominis. So dig your fingers into the waist, dig them in, and then I want to cough. So a little will be fine, okay? So don't panic, just a gentle cough. But what you should feel is some deep muscles working. And that's your transverse abdominal muscle. And it's like a big belt that goes all the way around. So I want you to think about pulling that in all the way, as far as you can, and then let it out, and out a little bit further. So you've just got that soft tension at the waist. We're going to hold that there, okay? And what you should feel is that your core is just gently working. Now the other way of working is the pelvic floor. Now we all have a pelvic floor, men and women, and it goes all the way through, round underneath, and it helps to hold all those deep internal muscles up. But it also helps us to activate the core. So think about a lift inside you, and you're going to gently pull it up inside, all the way up to the 10th floor, and then take it down halfway, and then a little bit further. So you're just trying to get that soft tension in your core. Now at the moment we've got the waist pulled in and we've got the pelvic floor pulled in. When we're doing this in class, you don't have to do both, because we don't want too tight a contraction, because then you can't hold it. You just want that soft feeling that you're activating your core. Okay, let's keep moving up the body. Now we're going to focus on the breath. Now if we do a deep belly breath, so breathe into the nose, take it down into the belly, you're going to lose all that work that you've just done engaging those core muscles. So we want to do what's called lateral thoracic breathing. So this is the thoracic area of the body. We want to breathe into the ribs. So pop your fingertips together. We're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And I just want you to try and experience that breath. Feel that you're directing it into the sides of the ribs. And then just be aware of that soft tension in your core. So if you can direct the breath into the ribs, your lateral thoracic breathing, that's going to enable you to maintain that tension in your core. Lovely. And then take the arms down. So keep the breathing going. Keep that tension. Now I want you to think about lifting your head up. Now your neck, a lot of us, because of the way we live nowadays, we tend to have our head here, called head forward posture, because we're always on those flipping phones, aren't we? So your head is forward here. That's not a great place for your head to be. And the further your head comes, the more strain you're putting on your back and your neck, whatever you're doing. So what you need to think about is having the head up here. So there should be a straight line down through your skull, through your body, that will come out in the middle between your feet. So when you're lifting your head up, come here. If it helps, think about the palate, the soft roof of your mouth. Think about lifting that up. So stretching up tall. Okay, so that's what we need to do to prepare the body for our classes. Now that's taken a few minutes to do that. Obviously, the more familiar you get with it, we do it much more quickly. And in most of my videos, I don't have time to go over all of that, which is why I really want to remind you, you need to do that before you start any session. Okay, so we're all prepared, the body is prepared, and now we're going to gently warm things up. So let's start with the neck, because we tend to hold a lot of tension in the neck. So we're going to bring the shoulders up to the ears, and we're just going to let it go down. Lift it up, and let it go down. Inhale as you lift, and exhale as it goes down. So it's a great way to release tension in the neck and shoulders. And release it down. Let's gently move that neck now. So we're going to take the head, keep the shoulders nice and still. Inhale as you prepare. Exhale as you just turn around to one side. And inhale as you come back. Now when you start doing this, you might find you can only go a few inches. But actually as you progress with your training, you should find you've got a lot greater range of movement. And some of the exercises we do, things like the elephant, fabulous for loosening up the neck. But today we're just going to gently go from side to side. See if you can go a teeny bit further. But you've got to listen to your body. And remember, we're still keeping that lovely alignment through the spine. Well done. And come back to the centre. Let's warm up the arms and the shoulders. So we're going to take the arms in front and we're going to have a lovely big circle. So you're parting the clouds that have arrived back today, just opening out. I think we've had our sunshine for a few days. You may notice behind me it keeps going bright and light and then dark again. That's the sun coming out behind the clouds. Can't do anything about that, I'm afraid. That's why it's flashing. Let's go a little bit faster. And as you take the arms back, try and pull the shoulder blades together behind you. Now be very careful. When you lift your arms up, we're not lifting the shoulders. So you're keeping the shoulder blades pulled down your back and just taking it round. Lovely job. Very good. Arms down by your sides. Now we're going to work to the side of the body and we're going to lean to the side. Now what we need to avoid is as we come over, we're just compressing this side of the waist. We don't want to be doing that. So we're going to take one arm up. You can have your other arm here. And I want you to think about lifting first and then reaching and stretching over. And then come back. Let's go to the other side. So you're lifting, so we're not compressing here. We're still keeping that length and take it over. Lovely job. Let's go again. Lift up and stretch. So we're stretching through the side of the body, stretching up and over. One more each side. Very good. Okay, now we're going to warm up the knees and we're just going to do a little rock forward. So let me just show you first. We're just going to come down and come back up. Now we want to do this with control. Remember, one of our key Pilates principles. So we're not just swinging all over the place. It's with control. So we're going to come down and up and down and up and down. Two more. Last one. And back up. Beautiful. Well done. Now we're going to roll up and down. So we want to loosen out through the spine. So I'll come on the sideways so you can see a little bit better. Now what we need to avoid when we go down is that we're not just pushing the bottom right out. So we'll come out a little way, but we're going to try and keep it tucked under. And we also want to work the cervical spine. So we've got the cervical spine, which is like the neck area. We've got the thoracic spine through the ribs, and then we have the lumbar spine, which is your lower back. We want to move all of those elements. So start standing nice and tall. Big deep breath in. Exhale as you come forward. Now we're not squashing the chin to your chest. That's not going to go because you can't go anywhere from there. So we're taking the head forward slightly and coming down. So we're really working that cervical spine. We're working through the thoracic spine and then the lumbar spine. So just come down as far as is comfortable for you. Inhale to prepare and exhale as you come up. Now that bottom is going to go back a little bit. But imagine there's a wall just a few inches away from your bottom and you're going to stay within that constraint. Slowly coming up and down. Let's do two more. So just loosening up through the back. One last one. Try and go a little bit further. Very good. Okay, so our body is now prepared. We've got everything in the right place. We're ready to start exercising. So that's taken quite a long time because I'm treating you as beginners and reminding you of the fundamentals that we need to follow. Once we actually do that in class, we do it much more quickly. But if you need to remind yourself of this before you go into a full session, then please. So now we're going to come down onto our mat. So if you're a beginner, then I'd just like you to make your way down very carefully onto the mat. However you can, hold onto the wall, the chair, whatever you need to, carefully make your way down onto the mat. Those of you that are using this as a refresher and a little bit more experienced, we're going to lower ourselves down onto the mat. So we'll come forward, keeping those core muscles pulled in. We'll cross the legs, big deep breath in, and then we're going to lower ourselves down onto the mat as smoothly as you can. And then we're going to come down and lie down onto the mat. Come down onto your mat. Feet and knees hip width apart. So we'll just go through that set up position again, but now in the lying position. Make sure your feet are on the floor. Feet and knees hip width apart. Find that soft curve in your spine. That little gap underneath your back so you can just feel the cold air just drifting under your back. Find that tension. So remember, you can use the waist or the pelvic floor, but just get that slight tension into your core. Arms by your sides and neck long. Now if you can't hold your head in this position and you find that you're back here, then just get a little towel and just pop it underneath so you can get that nice alignment of the neck. Then let's begin. So we've got easy options. We're going to start with easy option. So inhale to prepare and exhale as you lift one knee up. Now you can hold your knee in this position and you can just hold it there. And we breathe generally for 10 breaths. So we breathe in for 5 and out for 5, and we do that 10 times. That's why it's 100. So you can just do it with this leg here. If one leg is enough, you can straighten the leg and you can gradually take it a little bit lower. But you've still got to maintain this tension in your core. If you do one leg, then halfway through you're going to take that leg down, pick the other leg up, and you're going to hold it here. Now you can do both legs, but what you've got to be very careful of is when you lift the second leg up, we inhale, exhale as you lift up, that you're not feeling a sudden rush in here. Yeah, there should be no change in your core tension. So let's do it with the knees in tabletop position today, either one or both. And we're going to have the arms by your sides. Now we're going to just gently pulse up and down, so you're pulling the shoulders down away from your ears. And we'll breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 6 more breaths to go. So if you want to make it a little bit harder, you've got options here. You could straighten your legs, or you could keep them in tabletop position, and you could try lifting the head and shoulders. Couple more breaths. I've lost count now. And then let's rest it down. Well done. And release the neck. So that's your 100. So it's 5 breaths in, 5 breaths out, 10 times, legs either in tabletop position or straight and the head down or the head up. But don't worry about bringing the head up too soon. Your body will tell you when you're ready for that one. Okay, let's go back to our start position again. So from our 100, we're going to come up to sitting. So carefully make your way up to sitting. And we're going to do the roll back. So we're going to start with some nice gentle options. So start with a nice straight back, big breath in, and as you exhale, holding your hands underneath your thighs, we're going to gently tilt the back as we go back, come forward with the spine curled, and then stretch up tall. Come forward. So this is a great strength exercise, and it's training your body to use the muscles at the front and the back of your body. Let's do 2 more like this. So curling the spine back, come forward and straighten up. One last one. Come forward and straighten up. Now let's, if you can, release the arms. So big breath in, curling back, come forward and straighten up through the spine. Exhale as you go back. Come forward and straighten up. So we're just going to roll back as far as you can go. Keeping that control. Rolling back. Come forward. And straighten through the spine. Keeping that control. Very good. So that's your fundamental level of the roll back. So now we're going to do one leg circle. So we need to come back down onto the mat. Slowly, slowly, safely as you can. Remember, use your hands if you need to. And we're going to do one leg circle. Now this is a mobility exercise for mobilising the hips. So we're going to start nice and easily with the beginner's version. So we're going to keep one leg on the floor and we're going to lift the other leg up into tabletop position. And we're going to take the leg in a circle. Now imagine there's a pencil on your knee and you're drawing a circle on the ceiling. So we take it round in a little circle. We're going to work on stability. So we're keeping the hips still. And I want you to imagine you've got a glass of water on this opposite knee and we're not going to spill it. Now with the breathing, we breathe in as we come across the body. We breathe out as we go out. So you're going to do 5 in one direction. And then 5 in the other direction. And then when you're ready, switch over to the other side. Now in the beginner's option, you're just going to do it with the knee bent. Now as you progress through this and you find it easier, you can do it with a straight leg. And then you can straighten this leg, push the heel away so this other leg and the hips stay really still. So let's start this one. So we're going to take it out to the side. So inhale to prepare, exhale as you come out. And across, out and across. Now you can start with maybe 5 each side in each direction. And ideally we want to be building up to doing 10 on each side in each direction. If you find this a bit clunky in your hips, you can always make it smaller. Let's go back the other way. So we're keeping the core stability and let's use the principle of flowing. So you want smooth, continuous movements, keeping that core controlled. And take it back down. Okay, so you can do it either with the knee, small little circles here, or with a straight leg, making sure either way that you keep the core centered, maintain that control. Start with 5 each side, and then you can build up to 10. Well done, let's come up to sitting. So now we're going into rolling like a ball, or rolling back as it's sometimes called. Now some of you don't like to roll, so those of you that don't like to roll, maybe you could do a few more of our little half rollbacks just to keep that back moving. But those of you that are happy to give it a go, let's try and do our rolling back. So we're going to start with the hands. And we're going to take the hands here because it's going to help you. Now let me show you first. We're going to try and roll back and come up. So if you're not sure, keep the hands here because it will really help you. So we're going to try and work with precision. So find that start position. We're going to go back, and as we come back up, your feet are going to touch back in the same position. Inhale out, exhale back. So for your beginner's level, you can keep your hands there because it will help you to come back up. When you feel comfortable with that, we're going to take the hands slightly around the front and we'll roll back and we'll come up. And again, your feet are going to touch into that same spot. As you become more confident, you're going to stop before your feet touch the floor. Rolling back. Now this is marvellous for your back. Gets the circulation going through the spine. And it's working those deep core muscles. But really think about the control. What we see quite a lot of is foot flicking. So people throwing their legs back, flicking their feet back. But you want to try and keep that position, controlling it, and get that sensation that you're going back as one piece, all body joined together. Take it back and come back up. Let's do 2 more. Very good. So that's your rolling back. or rolling like a ball. So we're going to come down into our base position again. So go through that quick setup routine as we did before the 100. Feet and knees hip width apart. We're going to do one leg stretch. Now there are many levels of one leg stretch. So we're going to start with the basics to make sure you get it right. So we're going to start by just spreading the leg away, stretching the leg away. So inhale to prepare, exhale as you stretch that leg away and bring it back. Other side, stretch that leg away and bring it back. So think about the principle of precision. You're taking that leg away, you're lying on a beach, that foot is going through the sand and it's coming back in exactly the same place each time. Your pelvis isn't moving, you're not moving your back. So that's the simplest level. Exhale out, inhale back. Now we can try it with one leg in tabletop position. So carefully lift that leg up, make sure there's no movement in your core. And again, we'll exhale out, inhale back. Now you can start by taking that leg nice and high, just lengthening through the leg, stretching to your toe, exhale out and inhale back. Switch to the other side, making sure there's no movement in your pelvis, so you're controlling your core. And let's do the same with the other side. So we're stretching it away. So these are the beginner's level for the one leg stretch. Now lots of you will be more used to doing the one leg stretch that we generally do in class. And in this version we progress to bringing one knee into your chest and stretching the other leg away. So we'll be holding the knee in here as we stretch the leg away. But the principles are still the same. You're not tilting your pelvis and you're stretching and you're trying to take that foot back to the same place every time. Those of you that are more advanced, then you would think about curling your head up and stretching away from here. Okay, so you've got lots of different levels, from just sliding your foot away on the floor or working it in tabletop position, one leg or two legs, stretching away one at a time. And then we have our full exercises that those of you that are more experienced do. Are you ready? So that's your one leg stretch, beginner's options, working all the way through the different options. So from our base position, we're now going to move into double leg stretch. But actually we're going to focus mainly on the arms in the beginner's level. So think about your position, neck nice and long, neutral spine, core muscles engaged, feet on the floor. Now we're going to start with the arms. What we're going to do with the arms, inhale, exhale as you take them out, take them back and take them round. Now what we want to watch out for is that as you go back, your core is staying stable. So your shoulders aren't popping up, your ribs aren't lifting, your back isn't arching. This is all staying really still. So if you need to, move over a little bit, start small and take it round. So you've got to have that control of the core, maintaining that effort. Now if you wish to, we're going to lift the legs. So inhale to prepare. Let's try with one leg first. We're going to hold that leg there and we're going to still keep taking the arms back. Now we should have that constant control in your core. It shouldn't suddenly be going crazy because you've lifted the leg. Now if you feel okay with that and you want to, we can try both legs. Taking it back. Gently taking it round. So these are your beginner's levels of working the core. If you're doing it right, you should really feel the core working, maintaining that stability. Taking it round. So when we progress it from here, we lift the head and shoulders up. And then for the full exercise, you'll stretch the arms and legs away. Stretch the arms and legs away. Okay, so that's where we're going with this. But for now, we're just going to stretch the arms and legs and just hold those legs in that position. Okay, so that's a beginner's version of double leg stretch. Well done. Okay, let's come round on the front now. We're going to work the back for a little while. We're going to do our swan dive. So this is for the mobility of the thoracic area of the spine. So that's around the rib area of the spine. So we're going to lie on our front, arms here. Now we're trying to get a letter E. So this is one side, this is the other side, and your head is the third part. We want the legs relaxed. So if you can have your toes facing down, if you can't relax the legs, you can push the heels out, let your toes come in, and that will help to turn off the back muscles. The butt muscle, sorry. So from here, we're going to take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, we're going to lift up and take it down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Now don't push with the hands. I want you to imagine this is ice. So the more you push, you're going to go through the ice. So we're lifting up, not pushing down. If you can, we're going to exhale up, inhale down, pushing up. So mobility in your spine is going to dictate how far you can go. Keep the neck long, so keep your eyes down towards the mat. Lengthening away through the back and the upper body. Just mobilising that spine. Now for some of you this will feel marvellous, for others it will feel really uncomfy. If it feels really uncomfy, then just keep it really small, and if you need to, just keep those elbows down and just keep working that spine. So this is your swan dive, mobilising the thoracic spine. Great job, well done. So from our swan dive, we're coming round onto our back, and we're going to do scissors. So once again on the back, find that base set up position. Should be getting used to it by now. So feet hip width apart, core muscles engaged, and we're going to do scissors. So neck nice and long, shoulders down. Now again, we're going to start with the really base levels of the scissors. So we're going to lift one leg up. So inhale to prepare, exhale as you lift the leg up, inhale to prepare, and exhale as you take that leg down. Now think about control, think about precision. I want you to imagine this leg is a cheese cutter, and every time you're going down, it's going down in the same place. Okay, so we can do one leg at a time to begin with. If that feels easy, then you can straighten that leg a little bit. So you're going up and down, cutting the cheese in exactly the same place every time. One more like this. And bring it back to your start position. Inhale to prepare. Exhale as you lift the other leg. So again, we'll start with the bent knee, cutting that cheese, precision movement in exactly the same place. So these are your fundamental levels. And while you're working, just check what's happening with your core. Have you still got that soft curve under your back? Have you got control? Let's try it with a slightly straighter leg. Now as you take the leg down, don't go any further than you can control, because otherwise your back will start popping up. So leg down and leg up. So these are your beginner's levels. When you feel more comfortable, you can move on to slightly higher progressions. So you could, for example, have both legs here, and you can take one down and one up. Okay, so just your basic levels, but you've got to be able to control it. If you feel you're going too far, take it back down and work at a slightly easier level. So that's your scissors. Very good. So staying on our backs now, we're going to go straight into the bridge, one of my favourites. So get your set up position again, feet hip width apart. Find that neutral spine. I want you to really think about lengthening through the neck. So we're going to start this one with a gentle pelvic tilt. So inhale to prepare. As you exhale, we're just going to tilt the pelvis, and we're going to push this lower back into the mat, and then inhale as you gently rock back. So just gently touching down and coming back up. So your back is just coming down to lightly kiss the mat and then go back up. Let's make that a little bit bigger. So as you come down, you're pushing the middle of your back down and the glutes will start to lift. So flatten down, slowly come up. So your back is like a bicycle chain and we want to feel each bone touching onto the floor. So gradually increase the range of movement. Inhale here, exhale as you come up. Now we're aiming to come up towards the shoulder blades. So we don't go any higher than that, so we don't want any pressure on the neck. Only just a slight contraction in the glutes. So don't overuse your glutes. We're trying to get the glutes and the core muscles to work together in partnership. So your front muscles and your back muscles working to lift up. Okay, now this time we're going to lift the arms. So inhale to prepare. Exhale as you come up. Lift the arms here, hold them there, and then gently roll that spine down and take the arms down. It just helps to control the movement and stops you using the arms as you're coming back down. So you've got to work through the spine. Let's do a couple more. Inhale. Exhale as you come up. Inhale here. Exhale as you roll down and then take the arms down. Now while you're doing this, think about your feet. Are they still on the floor or are those little toes popping up? Want to keep the feet firmly grounded. Still got that instep lifted up tall. One last one. And roll it down. Oh, lovely. Let's come up to sitting. So you can either roll up or you can just come up safely. If you're going to roll up, hold your knees in and let's come up to sitting. So now we're going to come up to sitting and we're going to do spine twist. Now we're trying to work the thoracic area of the body. So around the rib area of your spine is the thoracic. This is just responsible for your rotation. The lumbar spine doesn't rotate, it's the thoracic spine that rotates. So we're going to get set up first of all. Now I'll come sideways so you can see the position of the back. We need the back to be as straight as possible. So if you can't sit in this position like this, then you can roll your mat up, pop it behind you so you can sit up so it will improve it. Or if you've got a block or a cushion, you can use that. Also with the legs, you can have your legs crossed. I prefer mine with the legs crossed. Or you can have your legs out. So however is going to be most comfortable for you. Okay, so choose your position. And then we're going to take the arms and we're going to just lightly cross them across the body. Inhale to prepare. And as you exhale, we're going to use these ribs here. And we're just going to twist the body round and inhale as you come back. Now my knees and hips are not moving. It's just the thoracic area of the spine. Exhale as you twist. Inhale as you come back. So imagine you're like a corkscrew. You're lifting up as you go around and releasing as you come back. Stretching up. So we're just working on the mobility of that thoracic area of your spine. We don't even think about these things until they start to disappear. And then you suddenly find that you can't turn around in your driver's seat to see behind you and things like that. So really important to keep that spine mobilized as much as possible. And one last one. Very good, well done. So that's your spine twist, which is for the mobility of the thoracic spine. Can't even say it, let alone do it. Well, okay, so from our spine twist, we're going to come down on our side and we're going to do side kick. You may have realised that in a beginner's class, we do a lot more movement around the mat to use the different muscle groups. Whereas obviously as you progress more, we'd maybe do all the abdominal ones together, all the back ones together. But as we're learning, we switch it around a little bit. So let's come on to the side. And now we're going to set up on the side. So we still want that same position through the body. So neck nice and long, legs one on top of the other, and we've got that little gap under your waist. So you've got that little breath of air coming through underneath the waist. Now you can have your fingertips in front, but obviously the more you end up pressing, the more it means you're using your upper body. We don't want to be using the neck and shoulders, we want to be using our obliques and our core strength here. So we're going to lift the top leg. Exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. So just nice and gently, just do a couple more like this. So working on your balance. Now if you can, just come to fingertips. And if you feel you don't need that hand, then just rest it here. Now we're going to lift this leg here. We're going to lift the underneath leg up. So we're going to squeeze that underneath leg up. So make sure you haven't suddenly tightened your shoulders. If you need to come back here, gentle fingertips. We're not pushing. If you're making dents in your mat, then you're probably pushing too hard. Gently lifting up. So we're working on our balance, using those core muscles to keep you nice and still. And take it down. Now with this leg, we're gently going to come forwards and back. Now this isn't the side kick where we come all the way forward. We're just challenging our balance. So make sure that your back isn't moving. Keep that movement of the leg quite small. Pulling in the core. Just gently forward and back. So you're really challenging your core by moving the leg. 2 more. And rest it down. Very good. Let's swing round and we'll do that on the other side. So come round onto the other side. Again, find that nice long line. Fingertips in front if you need them. Otherwise, resting the hand here. We're going to start by just lifting that top leg. Now make sure that as you lift this leg, that you've still got this little gap on your waist. You don't want to be pushing down into the mat and collapsing at the core as you lift the leg. So keep it small. Now let's hold this leg here. We're going to lift the underneath leg up. If you can, the arm is stretched down the leg. If you need to, fingertips in front. Gently lifting up. So you're working on your balance. Make sure those shoulders and the neck are soft and relaxed. And last one. And now we're going to practice with this leg. Coming forward and back. So if you need to steady yourself, fingertips, not pushing into the mat. If your fingertips have gone white, you're pushing too much. Just keeping the torso, so we're not swinging the body. We're just gently moving that leg forward and back. Challenging your balance. Keeping that core nice and strong. So this is your beginner's version of a side kick. Many ways we can progress this, and we can do that in the weeks to come. And rest it down, and lower that leg. Very good. That's your side kick. Okay, we're going to come down and we're going to do swimming now. So I'm going to show you 2 options, because some of you will prefer one over the other. So we're going to start with the lying down version of swimming. So we're going to start with the arms here, head down, legs stretched away. And all we're going to do is lift one leg. So think about that tension in the core. Inhale to prepare. Exhale as you lift one leg. Inhale as you take it down. Now we're floating and lengthening the leg away. Exhale up. Inhale down. So just think about stretching that leg. It doesn't have to be too high. We just want the thigh off the floor. Gently lifting up. Now if that feels comfortable, we have the option of taking the arms out long. And then what we try to do is to lift the opposite arm and leg. Exhale up, inhale down. Now there's no movement in the back at all. Exhale up, Inhale down. Stretching away. Now if this feels too much for your back, and it may do because it's a strong exercise, then just stick to the legs or do some with just the arms. Okay, so that's your lying down swimming. Alternatively, we can do it on hands and knees. So let's give you a bit more space. So make sure your hands are under your shoulders. We want the chest nice and open, so don't hunch everything in, and we want that neutral spine. And then from here, we're going to stretch one leg away and take it back in. Exhale out. We're really fat down over my jumper hanging down there. Stretch away. It's turned a bit cold today, so I've got a jumper on. Okay, now if you can, we're going to stretch the opposite arm and leg. Now when we're working at the beginner's level, keep it closed chain so your hands and feet don't come off the floor. As you progress, then you can take the opposite arm and leg and stretch it away. And your back is working at its hardest when you change from one side to the other. Exhale out, inhale back. So think about the precision. We're trying to go out and back in exactly the same position each time. You've got that core control. So as you go from side to side, we're not moving the hips. So imagine you've got a very full glass on your back and we don't want to spill it as we go from side to side. Very good. So two versions of swimming. If you don't like it when we do it on the knees, if it's uncomfy for your knees or your shoulders, then you have the other version of coming down on the mat, okay? So that's two versions of swimming for you. Okay, now from here, we're going to come into leg pull prone. So we're going to come forward onto the elbows. Whoop, I'll shuffle down a bit. Onto the elbows. And we're just going to lift the hips up into this position. Find that neutral spine. And we're going to hold it here. So it's a bit like the plank. It's called leg pull prone. And all we're going to do from here is hold it. I'm going to try and hold it for 10 breaths. So keep the neck nice and long, the shoulders wide. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And out. Now you should feel this working around your waist. Keep breathing. Now if you feel it's too much, you need to come down, have a rest, take it down and come back. If you can, just hold it here. Got about 5 more breaths to go. So think about pulling navel to spine. So those core muscles are controlled. Big deep breaths. We're not sinking the chest down. Keep the chest up. 2 more breaths. And release it down. With control, of course. Well done. Leg pull prone. Beginner's level. So from our leg pull prone, let's swing the legs around the other side. We're going to come over and do some side bends. Now we're going to line up with the back of the mat. So we're going to have the elbow here. We're going to have the bottom here. And then we're going to take both feet back. So the feet, the bottom and your elbow are lined up with the back of your mat. Now what we're aiming to do here is to work the oblique muscles around the waist. So we're going to tuck in round the side. So if I just tuck my jumper in a bit, then you'll be able to see a little bit better. Okay, so we're going to tuck that in. Oh, there we go. Okay, now we're going to come up to the side. Now what we're going to do is to lift up. So keep the neck nice and long. Inhale to prepare. Exhale as you lift up. Inhale as you come down. Now we're trying to go up, not forwards, okay? So you're coming up. So imagine you're like a puppet and someone's got strings and they're lifting your hips up in the air. Now you can keep the hand in front here for support, or you can pop the hand here on your legs, or when you feel more confident, you can lift up and take it down. Just whacking the side, lift up and take it down. Now this is really going to strengthen the shoulders, but it's also quite hard work for your shoulders. So if you feel the need, have a stop, come and sit up, roll the shoulders round. Just release it, and when you feel like it, come back down again. Do a couple more, really working through the waist. Last one. And take it down. Come up to the centre. Let's roll the shoulders around. And then let's turn to the other side. So again, we're going to line up with the back of the mat. Set elbow, bottom, feet to the back of the mat. Pulling in at the waist. Try and tuck in this side again. Good job, you can't see the back, isn't it? Look, I've got a big nappy on. So we're going to come up to the side. So easy option, hand in front, lifting up. So someone's got a string, lifting your hips up. So you're not coming forward, you're just coming up to the side. So if you need to, fingertips in front, or hand here. Or if you can, we're going to sweep up. And we're trying to combine the movement with the breath. So as your breathing improves, the moves will be slower. Exhale up. Inhale down. Two more. Last one. And take it down. And then let's come up. And we're just going to roll the shoulders round. Roll it round. Very good. Very good. And then we're going to come round into this position. Tuck your toes under. And we're going to come up to standing. So we're up to standing now. And we're going to finish with the roll down and push up. So we're going to start with just a few roll downs as we've done before for our warm up. So big deep breath in. Exhale as you bring the head forward. Carefully going down, rolling down and coming back up. Let's do two more of these and then we're going to add in our push up. Big deep breath. Exhale as you roll down. Slowly, slowly come back up, stretching right to the top of the head. Take it down. Now this time we're going to go down and we're going to do our Pilates push-up. So big breath in, exhale as you come down. And we're going to walk forward. Now knees under the hips, hands forward. But when we go down, the head is going to come forward, the elbows are going to come back. Slowly coming back up, so you should really feel like hard work. Tuck the toes under. Come back up, and slowly roll back up. You know, I said imagine if you've got a wall behind you. I've got a breakfast bar. Big deep breath. So just do be careful if you're doing it at home. If you've got bits of thing around you, just take care, won't you? Come forward, knees down, slowly forward. Back up, so we're really working on stability of the shoulders as we roll up and down. Let's do just one last one. So pushing the elbows back, head forwards, take it up, tuck the toes. Slowly coming up and rolling all the way back up. Brilliant, well done. So we're going to finish our standing up today. We're just going to take a few big deep breaths. So inhale and exhale. Couple more. So these are 15 of our basic Pilates moves. So if you've not done Pilates before, hopefully you've now got a better understanding of what we're doing. And for those of you that have done it as a refresher, just make sure you work on that technique. Very good. Bring the arms down. Let's have one here and one here. And give yourself a big round of applause. Well done. We're finished for today. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea now.